Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so welcome everyone. Hi everyone, welcome to another Regardless webinar. My name is Stano Gajdos, and I'm here to talk with Jana Eliasheva. Hi Jana.
Hi.
And Jana Trubicina. Hi Jana. If you would like to refer to us, all three of us, you can just say Jano, Stano, and we will all turn our heads. Today we are meeting here to talk PFAS, and we put a little plus next to the PFAS because it sort of like pours over into other legislations and other topics as well. As with every webinar, I believe now in the past months, I would like to heartfully invite you to Prague Chemicals Management Cruise, which is not just a cruise, it's a conference. We are having it in April this year, and we are looking forward to welcoming.
And part of the conference is happening on the boat. Actually, it's a cruise.
So it is a cruise. It's not just a cruise. Yeah. And one tiny note, if you would like to talk about Prague Chemicals Management Cruise with me and Jana, which is not Jana, but Jana, you can meet us today in 4 hours at a free webinar in a similar setting like this one. So let's move to this webinar itself. This webinar will feature an introduction, which we are already a part of, and after the introduction, we'll hear a few talks by Jana and Diana, and then we'll cater to questions put into the registration and questions asked during the webinar. After the webinar ends, as always, you will receive the recording and the presentation slides as well. That's it, I think, from my side. I believe, as always, I always forget something at the introduction, and then I come back to it during the Q&A section or in follow-up mailing. But I think here it goes. So who first?
Me. This is me.
Good luck, Jana.
Thank you.
What is yours?
Hello, everyone. So we are here today with Jana and Stano to talk about PFAS. Yes, we put PFAS plus. However, I'm a bit, let's say, when we were preparing this webinar and this presentation, it's so much things that we wanted to talk about that probably there would be some plus, which is the next webinars based on your questions or your interests. So please let us know in comments during the webinar what you're interested in the most, because it's really a lot of things. So let's talk PFAS. So we will start with the regulation on EU level, which is the current state regulation and legislation. And also we will look at the PFAS restrictions in the firefighting foams, because this is a very nice example. Let's say it's already here, it's already in force, and we will just look at the timeline, how it was all happening and what is waiting for us. Then we will slightly touch the universal PFAS restriction. It's universal in the brackets because I don't know if we can call it so, but it's very often referred to it like that. And we will also talk about the implementation challenges. So yeah, we love regulatory, and let's talk PFAS. And also we have prepared a blog post on our Regardless website regarding the EU PFAS regulation state. So you can probably find some more things or details there that are not included in this webinar, because yeah, we don't have that much time, unfortunately. So now, currently, we will be talking about REACH and also how some PFAS are regulated under the POPs and Drinking Water Directive, and the PPWR, which is Packaging and Packaging Waste Regulation. And when I was preparing the webinar, I like to make the mind maps, let's say, to not to forget anything and just to structure information somehow, so you can see that you don't need to read this because it's really small, but how many things there are to cover. So probably we will not cover everything this time. So let's start with REACH, and this is not a single regulation under REACH for the PFAS. There were different approaches, so we can see some attempts how it was aimed to regulate PFAS throughout the years. There was substance-by-substance approach. Some PFAS substances are on the SVHC list. So we also recently had a webinar on what is happening to the substances when they get to the candidate list for authorization. So these substances can be then regulated further. They can be restricted. They can be prohibited for use. So you need the authorization for it, for example. So there are some substances that are still only under the on the SVHC substances candidate list. Then also it's some subgroup restrictions. For example, in the REACH Annex 17, there is entry 86 that regulates one subgroup of PFAS, then it's entry 79, and then it's entry 82, which is the whole class restriction. So it's all PFAS in the firefighting foams. On this entry, we will look in more close details. And also there is a broad restriction or ban proposal, which so far we do not have so much of new information. We already had the webinar about the proposal for PFAS restriction, so you can also refer to that. And once we have some new information, we will for sure share it in the new webinar. So let's talk about entry 82. What is it about? This is about the PFAS in the firefighting foams. There is a definition in this entry, so you can see which exact substances are defined as PFAS. And there is also the exemption in the point 2 of this entry, but this is not the PFAS that are exempted from the use or placement on the market. It just means that they are regulated by some other entries or some other regulations. So, for example, when you calculate the total amount of PFAS or concentration, you also need to consider those. This general restriction is restriction on market, placement on the market, or use in concentration limit over 1 milligram per liter, sum of all PFAS, and will be enforced from 23rd October 2030, which does not mean that till this time you can use it. We will look at it now. There are some derogations and timelines for use and for placing on the market. So let's look at it in more closed. It is all in the entry 82, and it's really big text, and you need to go through it really carefully and see what is what concerns your products. So I will not probably name it all because it's a lot. I will just say that the civil airports and aviation are not covered by these derogations. So it's already something that where it is restricted. And also there is a cleaning residues where it's bigger limit. Then there are other derogation when the limit is bigger than higher than 1 milligram per liter for training and testing, for public services and private fire services acting as public, and for portable fire extinguishers. I'm sorry. So you can check this, and maybe after the webinar, when you receive the presentation, you can go through it more carefully and check all the details. And basically, this all is based on the text of the restriction. So you can also refer to that. And the derogation, some derogations will be also reviewed by European Commission before it's expired. Just I'm sorry, my colleagues. I'm really trying not to listen to them, but yeah. All right. So also the foams with PFAS will be allowed only under strict operation control and documented phase out planning. So from 2026, it's only for Class B fires, which involves flammable liquids. There should be emission control, waste management plan, how to separately collect the waste, and the PFAS must be destroyed or irreversibly transformed. And also there will be the PFAS management plan, which will be mandatory. So you will have to document all the things that you can see in the blue square, which is the volumes that your site use, conditions, how do you control emissions, how do you collect the waste, how you treat it, and so on and so on. And of course, as many things, you need to keep it for some time. So here it's 15 years, and it should be available for authority and reviewed annually. Also, under entry 82, there is information that should be visibly, legibly, and indelibly marked. If English is not your mother language, as it's not mine, indelibly means that it cannot be easily removed. It cannot be just wiped off and just disappear after the long use. It should be kept there. And as you know, recently in CLP, there were some new conditions how the label should look like. So please don't take this, what you see on the slide, as a recommendation that it should look like that. It's only about the wording that you see here. It should be there on the label. And also, I have to congratulate you. To be honest, I wanted to speak more about it, but I'm really focused and trying to do it in the time that we have. So the overview of entry 82 is completed. And now you can see my mind map that I have created. So we are here, but don't be scared. We will not take everything for so long. And also, if we make bigger the mind map, this is the amount of information that is basically covered. So that's good job. Congratulations to you. It's been only 15 minutes. We have covered a lot of things, but I'm sure you will have some questions after. So we will talk about it, or we will reply you in emails. If you contact us, we will share our contacts after the webinar. So feel free to text us, email us. And we'll just look at the timeline of this exact entry 82. So it's PFAS in firefighting foams restrictions. How did it go? So it started in 2019 when it was first build-up phase. It was first concern about it. And then you can see how long did it take. So now we are in 2026. You can see the red mark where we are. And basically now there will be also more and more restrictions or ban, and final derogations will end in 2035. So it really takes a lot of time to adopt the restriction. And the Commission and ECHA and all the authorities are trying to make as much as possible to give the companies time to adapt, to find the alternatives. So this was only about one single use, one group of substances and group of use, and it took so many years, and it will take so many years to actually finally restrict these substances. So when we are talking about the universal PFAS restrictions, where we have a lot of uses, covers a lot of sectors, we can estimate that it will take much more time. And where we stand now, currently, you can see that it was first submitted in 2023 by 5 member states. It covers PFAS and substances, mixture, and articles. So it's even more things where you need to see what are the risks and what can happen. There are 23 sectors, including the packaging. And during the consultation, the 5,600 comments were gained. It's over 100,000 pages. So I cannot imagine, to be honest, how long it would take to go through all these. And now it's under the scientific evaluation of ECHA, and there is no adoption date yet. What we know is that from March 2026, there should be some gathering and then the new consultation probably. So we just looked at how it's regulated under the REACH, and now it is also other regulations or directive that we would like to touch. So I will give word to Jana, so you're not bored by only my talking. So Jana, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jana. It wasn't very interesting and a lot of information, and I will add a few regarding drinking water direction. It's not a regulation of manufacturing of PFAS like REACH or etc., but it's concentrated on regulation of quality of drinking water, just content of PFAS in drinking water. PFAS are regulated by Annex 1, Part B. There are parametric values, and Annex 3, there are monitoring and analytical methods. Because, as you know, probably, this is a directive. It's not a regulation, but it's directive. And directive must be transposed to the national legislation, to national rules. So there are possibility for member states to choose an option for parametric values for PFAS. There are 2 possibilities. It's possible PFAS total. It means all substances which are named as PFAS, substances which contain perfluors, and it's a definition of PFAS, and or some of 20 PFAS which are mentioned in the directive. I think in Annex 3 probably. And there are 20 substances which are mentioned as PFAS important in PFAS for this directive, and member states can choose for transposal to their legislation which approach they will use. I know that in Czech Republic was chosen the second one approach, so it means 20 PFAS which limit 0.1 micrograms per liters. This application for this obligation is application date 12 January 2026. So now it's necessary to measure PFAS in drinking water. Methods for and analytical requirements under the WVD are mentioned in Annex 3. There are methods which are recommended common analytical methods, especially liquid chromatography or mass spectrometry, and liquid chromatography in combination with mass spectrometry, and solid phase extraction. So these methods are recommended, and there are some specific limits, how to use this chromatograph, how to use this method, and these methods probably are validated. So I think now in currently laboratories knows how to use this method and how to evaluate the results. So what to do when we are placing new materials in contact with drinking water? I have talked about quality of water, so measurement in PFAS in the water, and now it's what to do when you are producing materials for contacting water. So it's necessary also testing PFAS in these materials. If you know that your material contain PFAS, you have to check quality, and you have to check limit for this material. Also, it's necessary to prepare a risk assessment according to Article 11 of Directive, and technical documentation which declare compliance with the legislation, and supporting analytical data which are as a proof for the results. And some member states have a police positive list or hygiene certification system for materials for drinking water using. And as well as is in the directive, there are a list of substances or materials which are using for this use. And now it's possible to declare new materials with the process of mentioned in this directive. My final slide, it's about timeline regarding DWD. The directive was adopted or enters into force for 20th January 2021. So it's a few years ago. And there was 2 years for transposition into national legislation. So there was 2 years for preparing for member states. After a starting transitional period, it was takes 2 years for implementation of analytical methods, which are mentioned in the directive, and they implemented to the national plans or to the national laboratories. Also validation of the methods, etc., etc. And at 12 January 2026. Start full application of PFAS monitoring and limits. What is future for this regulations or for this regulated obligations? Possibly will be reducing the limits. Probably the limits will be lower and lower. Our PFAS will be restricted definitely in materials and in drinking water. Also, it will be increasing pressure or for producers which are using fluorinated materials to ban it or to restrict it in the infrastructure, especially as a material which is contacting with drinking water, and it's possible to contaminate drinking water with PFAS. It's probably all for my from me for now, and over to Jana.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, let's let's come back to my fast talking. I will try to speak not that fast. So we have seen that the PFAS are regulated in the EU not by a single PFAS regulation, but there are several of those where the biggest, I would say, is REACH. Also, we can see that they are regulated under the Drinking Waste Directive, where some conditions were transposed to the national regulations, and now we will also talk about organic pollutants protection. So this regulation covers just several PFAS. These are named on the slide, and also it can be their salts, for example, and what triggers that the substance is on this list is that substance is persisting, bioaccumulative, has adverse effects, toxicity, and the effect when it is on this regulation can be prohibition of use, placing on the market, or some severe restriction, very strict waste rules. So it should be destructed or irreversibly transformed. What is important here, we are aiming for the circular economy, but of course we cannot say that everything should be recycled, because we don't want some substances to get back into the soil, into their životní prostředí. Environment. Yeah, sorry, just totally forgot the word. Yeah, so probably for some articles or some mixtures, the recycling will be not possible due to some substances that are in there. We will now move to PPWR, which is the packaging and packaging waste regulation, here there were already some questions that we have received before the webinar. When we are talking, the PFAS are not explicitly regulated by this regulation. However, they are mentioned there in several sections, and the important is the food contact packaging. That from August 12 of 2026, so it's less than half a year, the food contact packaging cannot be placed on the EU market if the PFAS exceeds the limits that you can see on the screen. So there was the question. Yes, basically, yeah, there was a question by Sienna. Impact of PFAS regulation on packaging in the food contact material sector. So I would say that it's not the restriction of PFAS that we were talking about. It's explicitly in the PPWR that you need to test probably your products. Or if PFAS are put there intentionally, then you need to do everything to comply with the limits. And here also is the question of circularity and persistence. We just were talking about it in connection with POPs regulation. Where you cannot recycle everything because you don't want some substances to get back to the market. So the packaging and packaging waste regulation pushes to design for recycle. There are very high recycled content targets. You can see there the years 2030, 2040. So with each decade, it moves to higher and higher limits. Also, it pushes the control of substances of concern. And there is one important note that we call SVHC substances of very high concern, which are on the candidate list. But according to PPWR, it should not be the same substances. There are different definition, and there are more substances of concern according to PPWR. And the PFAS law, so some PFAS regulations that we already have or that are proposed, pushes the phase-out logic and the class-based restrictions and the REACH regulation and destruction of the contaminated waste under the POPs regulation. But I would not say that it's so controversial. I think it's not. We aim for circularity, we aim for recycling, but it's very logical that some substances will be phased out and it will be less and less of these substances in the recycle context. I think it's the main aim. So now we can also talk about the implementation challenges. One of the problems here is that there is a, let's say, mismatch in definition, because under different regulations, the PFAS can be, the molecule can be PFAS and can be not PFAS under another one. So you can see here just some examples that under the packaging and packaging waste regulation, the PFAS includes structural exceptions, and under REACH, there is a broader structural logic, and also there is the OECD style broad definition. And we're talking only about Europe now, because if we look at United States, for example, or at Canada, there are also different definitions. And also, I have just realized that I added to this presentation the link to one of our tools, which is PFAS Matchmaker. But I can see that it's not here because I did it on my computer. So Stano will send it to you. In the chat probably.
Yes,
So
if you link it to me, I can.
Yeah. All right. So here it is. I will just copy it and send it to Stano, and you can check it out. But this tool was designed more for Tosca lists, and we just took all the available information. So there you can just check it, you can test it, you can put a cast number, and the tool should tell you, yes, this is PFAS under this regime or this regime. However, so far it is not fully, it does not have full list because it is so many. So probably we will add there at least the drinking water directive substances, because there are actually some lists that are published. And under other regulations, we'll keep working on it. But maybe it can help you, because I can understand how lost some companies can feel right now, because you just simply don't know where to find the information. I have seen one of questions, I cannot find it now, but if there is the specific list of PFAS published by ECHA, so far, no. So far, it's just according to the structural definition, for example, or it's written in the regulation. So you need to look what is it exactly. So it's really complex, and there are challenges in testing, in labeling, and of course enforcement. So we will see what happens next. What companies should watch now? I think the biggest mistake is just wait for big ban, because there are already some rules that apply. So you need to map your portfolio. You need to see where you have PFAS. You need to review the suppliers, ask them. There was also a question how to get the information from suppliers if they are not in the Europe, or if they are main interest is not Europe. This is very challenging, and we meet this in different data collection projects. For example, for SVHC substances, where you also, as EU-based company, you are the responsible person for import, and then you simply cannot get the information because the supplier is not interested to tell you or to review their supply chain. So this is this is a big challenge. Also, you need to work on the testing strategy, also according to the regulations. But so far, only drinking water directive seem to have really approved methods. For others, there is no so far the methods that are written are placed as yes, this is a method and these are limitations that you should have. Then, of course, you need to work on the substitution plans and align compliance teams across the departments, which is also the challenging part. And this was the last slide. We are always ready to help you. If you have some questions, if you have the feedback, let us know in the Q&A section. And also, please feel free to contact us on the email addresses that you can see. And Jana puts here her mobile phone, so probably it means that you can call her. Thank you very much for your attention. And I'm giving this thing to Stano.
Perfect. This thing now.
Pointer. This is
we are a little bit, I don't know how to say it. After the half, like we passed half of the webinar, we are entering the second phase, which is my favorite part because I get to talk again. And that's the Q&A. Quick reiteration how the Q&A works. You probably know. I've seen many familiar names, but anyway, we try to prioritize live questions. If you'd like to ask or like to talk to us, it hasn't happened for a few weeks, but if you'd like to talk to us live, just raise your hand. I'll allow you to turn on your microphone. Then we'll try to.
I have a first question to
Your
Stano.
microphone is already turned on. Go ahead.
All right, so Stano, if you like to talk, would you like to prepare maybe some part of presentation with us next time?
We'll see about it in the afternoon. Yeah. Anyway, I'll try to get back on track. We'll try to prioritize live questions. However, after last webinar, we have received some feedback regarding not answering live questions, which are very specific. And we do this on purpose because we believe when asking like very particular question about a particular substance and its role in a regulation, we believe that the tens of people who attend the webinar might not be vastly interested into it. So we try to answer these questions via either email or via a follow-up consultation. So if you have a very specific question, do not hesitate to reach out to us. We'll figure out how to resolve it. That said, I was supposed to have this while I was talking about how the Q&A works. So, let's just go. Today is full of hiccups, I guess. So let us have asked, where are PFAS prohibited for use under which regulation? I believe this was sort of answered already, but it's a good point to reiterate. Jana?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to? Okay. So some PFAS are restricted for some uses under different regulations, which I believe we touched in this webinar. If you're interested in some particular PFASs or uses, maybe you can specify it, and we can look closer into it. Because it's very general to say that the PFAS are prohibited or restricted. It's a lot of different rules.
It is.
Yes. Yeah.
Next, we have the first question prepared. I bundled it up with a question from Katja, who asked during the webinar, so I wanted to put them together. So Anya was asking, is there a list where I can find all PFAS listed? And you already answered this. There is not, or there is no harmonized list at the moment. And then she follows up with, am I allowed to use contact materials in our production that contain PFAS? And if so, is it limited to a specific value?
Yeah, I'm a bit concerned. Is it food contact materials or any other contact materials, because it will depend. What is it about? So if you could please specify. And yes, for example, for food contact materials, there are specific limits that were a couple slides ago. So when you receive the presentation, you can look at it closer. Yeah, and the differences that exist in PFAS definition globally, I think we could have actually a slide with different definitions, because it really differs by different. I'm saying word different too many times.
Very different words.
Yeah. So yeah.
So
Answering your question, I'm not able to just from the top of my head to share all the definitions. But if you're interested about the specific definition or how to define your substance, you can contact us.
Yes, thank you. I just received a very interesting question in chat asking if we can provide a recording. Yes, we can provide a recording, but the question is interesting to me because the person asking is in the RAC meeting today. So yeah, let's continue with Cynthia, who asked live as well. So actually, we categorize the substance as SVHC. Oh, we categorize the substance as SVHC. Annex 14 and 17. Should we add a new classification in relation with the PPWR? We as a manufacturer, or we as a European community? How do you understand the question?
Yeah, I think it's not the manufacturer, but more like European Union, probably, because.
Yeah, so Cynthia, I saw you in chat. If you could clarify this, please. Let us know. We are in Europe, yes. Okay, so you're asking from the point of view of someone who has the substance. So the question then is, does PPWR imply a new classification? How to define the substance as PFAS if there is no definition that applies to all? Not at the time. We are a company in the metal industry. Okay, let's. I'm sorry, Cynthia. Let's return to this after the webinar. I should have probably paid more closer attention to the question before putting it in the queue. I will get back to you after we clear this up. So Roman asked that he's interested. They're interested in understanding what explicitly will be decided in March 2026 regarding PFAS and what's the actual trend regarding restriction and accessions.
Okay, thank you for this question. We are interested too, and unfortunately, we do not know. So there should be a meeting because the committees have to be prepared till March 2026. They had to review all the comments, and probably there was some evaluation, so it will be some consultation and some discussion on where it will move next. But we cannot. Everything we say now would be a speculation because we really don't know what's going to happen. So we need to wait. It's very soon, so we will see, and probably we will have some other webinar, and we can discuss it there.
Let's move to Sylvia. What is the current status on universal restriction on PFAS?
Yeah, so we just touched on that. Yeah, so so far there were comments that were reviewed. There were 23 sectors that should cover the PFAS restrictions, the uses. We do not know what exactly will happen, if there will be some new uses added, if there will be something where there will be some derogation or exemptions. So current status is that there is no adoption or adoption date yet.
Okay, thank you for the answer. Yeah. To not move in circles, let's have a question by Monica. Thank you, Monica, for all your extended questions. And Is drinking water supplier obliged to provide results of PFAS analyses upon request from 12 January 2026? It's the first question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Easy answer. And please recommend validated analytical methods. Jana?
Yeah. It depends on the member states, because as I mentioned before, directive must be transformed to the national regulations, and there are the national authority established who is responsible for, because in directive is responsible the member states of measurement of the quality of drinking water, and national authority establish who is responsible in the national level. So in Czech Republic, there are the water utility operators must measure the quality of drinking water. And the second part, recommendation of validated methods, it's in the directive and also in a national legislation. So please, if you are interested in special special member states rules in special member states, you have to check the special member states legislation. And if you are interested in special parts like plastic, glass, you have to check the special rules for the special products. Special.
Definition and special. These are the words of the day. And different.
Well, sir, I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I heard correctly now, but a follow-up question rather follow-up question, but a very, very related question by Martin, who is asking that the PPWR PFAS limits of 22 ppb and some of 250 ppb are specifically mentioned as measured with targeted analysis. But what limits apply if a specific PFAS substance is just not measurable? For example, thermally bonded in a certain matrix. This relates to glass, I believe, as well. Yes. I mean, the limitations are there for every method. I would believe that this would be reflected by the recommended methods.
Yeah, and also if PFAS is added intentionally, then you probably know the concentration, or you can ask your supplier. So it's also about the communication. Yes, this is true that you cannot measure everything. There probably will be some explanation by the authorities, some alignment with the methods that we have now, and yeah, if it's edit intentionally, then you can find out the concentration not by measuring, but by assessing some technical documentation or asking your supplier.
Let's move to Nevena. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Nevena asked for PFAS in lithium-ion battery cells, and then they clarify in chat that they are asking because there is no validated replacement for the PFAS chemical.
Well, the thing is that in the restriction proposal, there is the electronics and energy sector. So probably this will be something like derogation or exemption, or there will be more time for finding the replacement or validate the replacement. I think it concerns many sectors where you don't have the replacement so far, but the European Union is aiming to move for broad restriction or ban. So at one point, it will have to be solved somehow, either by banning having the replacement or by exemption, because there is no replacement and this is some crucial use that we just need. So we will see.
Yes, I believe this case is not alone in this situation, which is why I'm including this despite being so specific. Anyway, let's move to Maria, who just asked to clarify. Maybe it's a quick yes or no question. Is Maria right to say that PPWR restricts PFAS only in food contact packaging and not in other?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes, that so far there are the limits for food contact packaging.
However, okay.
However, there should be also the collection of information what substances of concern, which is not only SVH substances, but other substances of concern defined under the PPWR are in the packaging. And then there will be some assessment, I believe, by the Commission. And then we will see, maybe it will happen that PFAS will be also limited or restricted in other types of packaging.
Thank you. So I was like aiming for the quickest answer.
Sorry.
But we'll try another time. Let's move to Maud, who asked for a clear overview before the webinar, for a clear overview on restriction thresholds and deadlines. And while I believe the presentations were comprehensive, I don't think we are capable of listing every single threshold provided.
Yeah, I hope that we answered at least some of your questions, and I hope that you got at least some clarity, which we do not have for 100% because we don't really know what to wait for. So yeah.
Okay. I believe the thresholds are later released in the legislation as well. Let's move to Marta, who asked, with reference to PPWR, does the manufacturer of basic polymers, pellets, intended to be processed into packaging by its customers have the obligation to test such polymers for PFAS presence? While it's not intentionally using any PFAS and has relevant declarations from the suppliers also confirming the non-intentional interaction of PFAS substances.
Okay, so as far as I understand, there are PFAS substances, however, they were not added intentionally. But even non-intentional addition of PFAS is still addition of PFAS. So I think that I don't think that I'm able to answer this question with 100% certainty. So I will probably need to look at it further, look at it closer after the webinar.
More details.
Because, yeah, I don't really want to misguide you here. What do you think?
Again, it's we need more details about this question and the correct answer.
Yes, it seems obvious on the surface, but the more I think about it, but basically they're asking if I'm receiving substances without PFAS, can I trust the declarations, or can the declarations change with processing into polymers?
Yeah, also depends.
It will depend on.
Yeah, if the product is from EU, it's a responsibility of your supplier. But if it's out of EU, so it's your responsibility.
And Marta clarified that this is related to food contact. Well,
Okay.
I guess it also depends on like the presence of fluorine in the process as well.
It's probably more strict for food contact materials.
Yeah, but good question. The good question for the future. Thank you, Marta. Let's move on to Rehan, who asked how to detect the percentage of PFAS in plastic products. We probably answered this question with the recommended methods already. Do you want to expand upon it, or do we go for it?
Not really.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
let's move on. So hopefully, Rehan, we answered this already. If not, let us know. Thomas, how to get information in the supply chain if the European Union isn't the main location of interest?
Yeah, I think this question we touched a bit during the presentation, that this is one of challenges that a lot of companies are facing. At some point, maybe your last option is to test. But also to try to convince the supplier that you really need this information, and if they have it, and it would be nice of them to provide it. Yeah.
Let's move to methylene. How do we finalize which PFAS chemical we need to restrict in the product, since there is no single reference list? We are circling back to the reference list. So if a customer wants to know if their products are PFAS compliant or non-compliant, how should we finalize the compliance? When are we actually sure that we are compliant with PFAS?
And the definition of PFAS depends which regulation you are applying for your product. And maybe you have to check the definition in your in the regulation or a law or a legislation, and maybe apply this definition and make compliant.
Exactly, because as we're saying that the same substance can be PFAS under one regime and maybe is not PFAS under the other.
Maybe in future will be.
Yeah, maybe it will be more harmonized.
We don't know what.
Yeah. Also, what maybe I would do is if you have the list of substances that you consider to be PFAS or you suspect that this is PFAS, to check it and then to make some kind of table. This is PFAS under this regulation or under this regime, especially if you are supplying the products or chemicals to Europe and United States, for example, then you can say this is under TSCA, but under EU REACH it is not.
Yes, I will use this opportunity to let you know that if you have questions which require multiple minutes of back-to-back talking, like I want people to rephrase that. If you want to go deeper on any of your questions, do not hesitate to get in touch with us, where we will have more space to discuss it and more space to look into your issue concretely in focus. I'm sorry, 1 minute ahead of us and behind us and during. Okay, I need to sort of wait myself. But Sharka was asking, they are a manufacturer of empty plastic food contact materials with different decorations. What are the obligations? What are obligatories in refer to PFAS, Article 5? What we have to forward to our customers according to Annex 7 and Article 16? Do we have to test our products?
I think this is also something that we need to look at it more deeply. Also, I can see that you mentioned the different decorations. If this is some parts of the product that somehow can influence like the total amount or total weight of the product. So yeah, I think that we would need to look closer into it. But I'm sorry. Yeah, but for sure there are some limits where you have to be able to present that you are comply with these limits. So it's either testing or it is getting the information from the manufacturer, or if you are a manufacturer, from the supplier of the raw materials. If there is PFAS, maybe you can also maybe you can show that you are below the limit from the information on raw materials and not testing the final product.
Yeah, we have just hit the 1 hour mark, so we should be closing the shop in a second, in a minute. I would like to use this opportunity to launch this single poll, which is asking, what is the biggest challenge you see now regarding PFAS? There is a lot. And multiple people just said goodbye, but let's close this with a final question while you answer the challenges box. And that is, I cannot do this one because we are stopped here. Oh no, can you please click back to the presentation? Good, okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Back to Cynthia, and this is, since PFAS are not always identified as PFAS in safety data sheets, what screening approach does ECHA recommend to identify PFAS in company chemical inventories? Well, ECHA provide an official reference list, so let's leave out the reference list, but what screening approach does ECHA recommend?
Not sure what exactly is recommended, but the structural criteria seems to be the right approach, because this is how the definition works. And also, yes, it is not always identified as PFAS, but once this substance is on restriction list, for example, or in a candidate list for authorization, then this should be in section 15.
Yeah.
So this is one more place where you would look.
Yeah, you can find it with CAS number or EC number, and try to find this substance in different lists. That depends. It's maybe like detective work.
Yes, yes, this is exactly.
Yeah, maybe.
So should we call ourselves regulatory detectives?
Yeah,
regulatory artists.
Maybe.
Let's quickly share the result of the poll before we close here, just to take a peek on at like what you find the most challenging. And it seems like the leading two is data transparency and being able to identify PFAS inventory, which go hand in hand with this issue. Well, with this, I believe it's time to say goodbye. Can you please move to the next slide, because my touch was my pointer is There we go. I remind this all the time. Feel free to check out PCMC 2026, which is our flagship conference in 2 months' time. And I hope you found this webinar useful. If you did, please let us know. We are always delighted when someone says nice words, and we always try to be constructive when someone doesn't. So you have the ability to shape the future sessions regarding topics, regarding the focus, regarding the format as well. Please, I know every service provides feedback forums in the big year of 2026, but they will help. So thank you everyone for coming. Thank you, Jana and Diana.
Thank you. Thank you for a lot of questions.
Yeah, we again didn't make it to like, I believe, 10 questions which were in the queue. Yes, our apologies for that. They will serve as food for future webinars.
Yeah.
We try to hold one every week, and it seems like we will, at least until PCMC, and then we will probably take like 1 week off maybe. We'll see. Anyway, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Have a nice day.
See you in the afternoon. Ciao.